I created the perfect striker in Football Manager 2023, but with a twist. We're placing him in the Philippines. Welcome back to the Filipino FM channel, your home for Filipino football content. Today, we're going to go back to the Perfect Player series, and we're going to look at the perfect striker. So we put the perfect striker in the Philippines Football League, and we're going to follow their career to see how they end up doing. So here we have the perfect striker, and we did something a little bit different with his attributes this time. Instead of making all of his attributes a perfect 20 out of 20, we only made the ones that were necessary for an advanced forward to be a 20 out of 20. So as we can see here, his dribbling, finishing, first touch, pace, stamina, things like that are all a 20 out of 20. While secondary attributes that I thought were important, such as crossing, free kick taking, heading, long shots, penalty taking, attributes like those. I made those a 15 with kind of unimportant attributes either being a 5 or a 10. The reason that I did this is that in previous editions of our Perfect Player series, we've seen our players moved out of position. So our first perfect player that we had playing as a center mid eventually got retrained to play as a center back, and I think that may have nerfed some of his stats. So in the hope that we're going to get the perfect striker actually playing at striker, we've made all of those attributes a 20 out of 20. The other thing that we did to help out with this is we did make his versatility 1 out of 20 in the hopes that clubs will see this, not retrain him to play another position, and he will end up playing striker for his entire career. Some other things that are important for the perfect striker is we did make him 165 centimeters tall. Again, he is Filipino, so we couldn't make him above 6 foot, weighing about 77 kilograms. And if we look at his personality, he is professional, but he does have the perfect personality. So I'd expect that later on in his career, we might see this change to model citizen, model professional, or even born leader. We do have our perfect striker starting off at Maharlika, Manila. For some reason, in the season preview, they have him starting at right back. I'm not sure why that is, but currently Maharlika, Manila is projected to finish in sixth place. And we'll see if the perfect striker can help Maharlika, Manila climb up the table and maybe even win the Philippines Football League. We're also going to track his progress with the Philippines national team to see if the perfect striker can help the Philippines make a World Cup, potentially win a trophy, and move up the world rankings. Currently, at the start of the game, the Philippines are ranked 130th, so we'll see if the perfect striker can help move them up. We currently have the perfect striker on a 3-year contract running until 2025. So I think we're going to fast forward 3 years into the future at the end of his contract with Maharlika Manila, and we're going to see how he's doing then. All right, we have fast forwarded 3 years into the future. We are now on July 3rd, 2025, and we're going to catch up with the perfect striker to see how he's doing. And it looks like, based on his profile, the perfect striker has had an excellent start to his career, such so that PSG noticed him and he is joining PSG in the next continuation of this game. The perfect striker has also had a blinding start to his Filipino national team career, already making 18 international appearances at just 18 years old and scoring 24 goals, averaging well over a goal a game. And looking at his career stats, the perfect striker has had an absolutely amazing time in the Philippines Football League. The past season scoring 51 goals. That is the highest I have ever seen in any of these experiments. It looks like playing him at striker is helping with those statistics. He's averaging an 8.59 rating, had 18 Player of the Match awards. Surely that might be enough to have led Maharlika Manila to a Philippines Football League title. And looking at the previous season, the perfect striker absolutely led Maharlika Manila to the Philippines Football League title, achieving an undefeated season and scoring, that's got to be at least two-thirds of their goals. They scored 73 goals this season, with the perfect striker netting 51 of them. This has to be one of the best seasons I have ever seen in the Philippines Football League. And looking at some of the previous seasons, it does look like the perfect striker was helping Maharlika Manila punch well above their weight. They were predicted to finish sixth in the first season, but in the second season, they finished third. And in the first season, they finished fourth. So some steady progress with the perfect striker at Maharlika, Manila. And absolutely no surprise, the perfect striker won the Player of the Year award and the top goal scorer awards while he was at Maharlika, Manila. That 51 goals, no one even coming close to that. His next closest rival only scoring 13 goals. Looking at the Philippines national team, the perfect striker has helped to improve the Philippines national team. They've risen from 130th to 112th in the world rankings. And to no surprise, the perfect striker is the key player on the team. And looking at the Philippines schedule, it looks like the perfect striker made his debut in September 2024 and his first game netting 2 goals against Cambodia in a 3-1 friendly win. And it looks like the perfect striker led the Philippines all the way to the Southeast Asian Games Championship, even scoring a hat trick in the final, but it wasn't enough for the Philippines to defeat Thailand. And looking at the Philippines schedule in 2025, a pretty hot start with the perfect striker once again in really good form in both friendlies and Asian Cup qualifiers. So this does bode well in the future for the perfect striker to potentially lead the Philippines to a trophy or maybe even World Cup. So with the perfect striker moving to PSG, I think we're going to go 5 years into the future to 2030, which should be a World Cup year, and we'll see how the perfect striker is getting on then. Welcome back. We are in 2030, 5 years into the future, and the Philippines has risen to 93rd in world rankings. That rise suggests maybe they've made the World Cup, so we're going to see if the perfect striker has helped lead them there. And looking at their schedule, it does not look like the Philippines made the World Cup. And looking at the World Cup Asian qualifying sections, the Philippines didn't even make the playoff places, finishing well outside of the qualification spots for the World Cup. Despite their poor form, it looks like the perfect striker was still contributing, scoring in a 4-1 loss to Thailand and scoring 2 goals in a 2-0 victory over India. So despite the Philippines' poor form in World Cup qualifying, the perfect striker was still banging in goals. And we can see that with his new international cap and goals total. He has 61 caps, scoring 70 goals at just 22 years old. So he really has had a hot start to his Filipino national team career. And clearly, this has also translated to his PSG career with some really high average ratings and banging in plenty of goals, scoring 33 in his first season, 27 in his second season, and 22 in the most recent season. So he is scoring quite a few goals for PSG. In fact, he's scoring so many goals for PSG that he has won the Golden Boot in 4 of the 5 seasons that he's been at PSG, winning the Golden Boot in 2025, 26, 26, 27, 27, 28, 28, 29, and only losing out to Kylian Mbappe in the most recent season, where he still finished second, scoring the same number of goals as Kylian Mbappe, but it looks like Mbappe's 5 assists might have led him to the Golden Boot over our perfect striker. And looking at PSG with the perfect striker, they've been absolutely dominant in Ligue 1, having won in all 5 of the seasons that he has been there. And looking over how PSG has done since he's been there, they have had two, two perfect seasons since the perfect striker has joined the club. They've been scoring a lot of goals, so clearly the perfect striker is having a big impact on how PSG is doing. And in one of the more interesting findings, PSG has actually won 3 of the past 4 Champions League titles, including the most recent Champions League. So the perfect striker already netting 3 Champions League titles with PSG. And in the most recent Champions League season, the perfect striker actually netted the winning goal in extra time of the Champions League final, netting a penalty in the 117th minute to win PSG the Champions League. And looking at their other Champions League victories, again, the perfect striker netted the winning goal in the 59th minute of their first Champions League victory. And again, in the most recent season, it was the perfect striker's astonishing 14 goals in 15 appearances that led PSG to the Champions League title. And it was his first Golden Boot in the Champions League. That being said, his exploits did not earn enough for him to win the Champions League Player of the Season, with Mbappe winning the last 5. But at least he has won the forward of the season in the past 4 of 5 seasons. So that's pretty good. But none of this has translated into World Player of the Year victories. Again, Mbappe winning the last 5, with the perfect striker finishing in second place behind him. The exact same for the Ballon d'Or. But at least we see the perfect striker in the Team of the Year at striker. So with that, I think we're going to go to the end of the perfect striker's career now. He has moved to PSG, and when our perfect player went to PSG, he did not move to any other clubs after leaving. So I don't know if we'll see the perfect striker move, at least in the prime of his career. So let's go to the end of his career, see if he's moved to any different clubs, and we'll catch up with him then. Welcome back. We are at the end of the perfect striker's career after he retired, and we can see he actually ended up moving to Real Madrid in his last season. And we have some interesting stats here with him winning the Champions League with Real Madrid in his final season at the club, as well as the Spanish First Division, the Spanish Super Cup, and the Spanish Cup. Unlike our previous players, he did not end up going into management. So we are going to roll back a few months so that we can look at the perfect striker while he was still playing. We'll look at some of his statistics and we'll look at his career stats. All right, so we are back with the perfect striker a few months before he retired, still with Real Madrid at 37 years old. It looks like he retired from the Filipino national team, netting 111 caps and 127 goals. I believe that 127 goals would be a world record if he was playing in real life today. And it looks like he just went on to Real Madrid this season, having played the rest of his career with PSG, accruing some really phenomenal stats with PSG, scoring a lot of goals. Although he only played 13 games and scored 14 goals in this season, I wonder if maybe he got an injury that season and that might account for his low appearance and goal total. After that, though, he was still accruing some pretty high goal totals. And even in the latest season, with only 28 appearances in, he already has 32 goals. So he might be 37, and we have frozen his attributes, but he certainly isn't slowing down. And looking at the player stats, he is pretty comfortably going to win the Golden Boot in La Liga, and he also has comfortably the highest rating. He's pretty much been the best player in La Liga this season. Back in Ligue 1, PSG won every single Ligue 1 title in the time that we were here. So the perfect striker winning a league title every season that he was at PSG. And sure enough, the perfect striker did win the top goal scorer award most of the years that he was at PSG, although this Sergei Gamidov did pip him a couple of times. Otherwise, the perfect striker pretty consistently won almost every top goal scorer award. That being said, the perfect striker didn't win many best player awards. Most of them went to Kylian Mbappe. The perfect striker did win 3 in a row here, but otherwise, it looks like other players over our perfect striker were winning the best player in League One award. Looking at the Champions League, the perfect striker does end up winning it this season with Real Madrid, but it looks like he won it a number of other times with PSG, winning in 2040-41, 38-39, 35-36, 32-33, 29-30. So the perfect striker helping PSG to win the Champions League. Again, something that even Lionel Messi didn't do. So pretty good stuff from the perfect striker. Switching over to the Philippines national team, the perfect striker did not help them win any new honors. The Peace Cup was something the Philippines had already won at the beginning of the save, but they did get them up to 87th in world rankings, with that being the highest over the period that we were looking at. So the perfect striker did help improve the Philippines, but not enough that we won a trophy. And briefly looking through how we did in cup competitions and World Cup qualifying, it doesn't look like the perfect striker at any point helped lead the Philippines to the World Cup. Looking at the different seasons here, the Philippines never reached the World Cup, didn't do so well in the Asian Games. So, despite the perfect striker having a really good career with the Philippines, it doesn't look like he helped them make the World Cup. Looking at some of the individual awards, the perfect striker did win the Footballer a Year award a number of times, dominating it from the period of 2036 to 2040. So that does bode well for how the perfect striker was doing. But it looks like he only won a few 4 World Golden Balls or Ballon d'Ors. So despite how good our perfect player was, I would have expected him to win more Ballon d'Ors, closer to what Kylian Mbappe was winning very early on in this save. And looking at the end of the perfect striker's career, Real Madrid actually beat Leeds in the Champions League final, with the perfect striker scoring 2 goals to finish off his career in the perfect way. So, looking at the perfect striker in retirement, he ended up with 66 winners' medals and 137 individual awards. So, overall, a pretty exemplary career. So, despite the perfect striker having such an amazing career, he still wasn't able to lead the Philippines to a World Cup. We only saw the perfect player win the Southeast Asian Games and the perfect goalkeeper make the World Cup with the Philippines. So I think what we're going to do for our next experiment is we're going to give the Philippines 4 perfect players, 1 goalkeeper, 1 central defender, 1 midfielder, and 1 striker. And we're going to see whether they can lead the Philippines to the World Cup and possibly even winning a game in the World Cup. That being said, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and we'll be back for more Football Manager 2023 experiments soon. Bye!